What's going on YouTube? It is your boy JoshXBarber, back with another haircut tutorial for you guys. And if you guys are new to the channel and you're not subscribed, please go down and smash that subscribe button to stay up to date to new videos. I got a lot coming this year. I've been out the way, but yeah, we're about to get into this haircut tutorial. Let's get it. So the first thing you want to do all the time is comb, brush, or pick the hair out so you can get the full growth pattern of the hair. And you can get all the hair lifted off the skin so you can get a better cut process and know how to approach the haircut. After picking the hair out, I decided to come in with my number 2 guard with the lever all the way open and just debulk. This is going to get a lot of unnecessary hair that we don't need, that's overgrown, that's in the way of the haircut, so we can have a cleaner canvas so when we come in and set in our guidelines, everything will be smooth. And if you guys notice, once I get around the parietal ridge area, I'm going to C motion so I can keep that shape of the hair on top. He's going to drop fade and he wants it kind of to flare out. So for the first guideline, you guys know we're going to go in and set in that bald line using my Babyliss Gold effects trimmers. He's going to drop fade, so I'm going to drop it lower in the back and bring it up around the ear and just curve it around real tight. That's going to give that drop fade a good look. So right here, after I have the guideline set in, I'm going to come back and cut all the hair that's up under the guideline that we don't need and make sure that I have it clean all the way so we can go into this haircut without having to do any backtracking. Now if you guys can pay attention, as you see me cutting off all the hair, I'm hitting the bottom of that guideline just a little bit, just to soften it up a little bit. This is what's going to help you take out that guideline easier later by softening up your guideline. A lot of people set it in too sharp, making the clippers not being zero gapped enough to take the line out, leaving with you a line that's super low. Right after we get that bald line situated, I'm going to come in with my magic clips with the lever all the way open, and I'm going to go up about a ½ an inch and making sure I'm staying parallel to that bald line so the fade can be balanced all the way around the head. And a lot of times once I get that guideline set in good, I go back behind it more than once just to make sure all the hair is even so we can have a seamless fade. So right here we're going to be knocking out that first guideline that we made with our trimmers. I'm using my magic clips and I'm going in with the lever closed halfway. And I'm going to start up under the guideline and flick up to the guideline. Sometimes, depending on the hair texture, you guys, you might have to close the lever all the way, then come back with the lever halfway closed, or you can start off with the lever halfway closed, and sometimes it'll blend it right out. It just depends on the hair texture. The biggest tip I could give you guys is to really understand your tools, because really in this area, the lever is your best friend. If you have your clippers zero gapped and you're trying to take out that bald line, you have to understand the lever. If you go in and you feel like it's cutting too much, that means that you need to open the lever a little bit. If you feel like the line isn't disappearing, that means you need to close it more, or you need to set your blade. That's really all it is. So for the next guideline, we're going to come in with the number 1 guard with the lever all the way open, and we're going to go up about a ½ an inch, a little bit more maybe. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm not going in with my number 1 guard closed. I'm giving him a drop fade, and I didn't want the fade to be too high. So with me starting with the number 1 guard open, it leaves hair for room for me to fade down, and that means I'm going to preserve more hair, leaving the fade darker, rather than if I would have went in with the number 1 guard all the way closed. So once I have that number 1 guard open guideline set in, I'm going to drop down to the number 1 guard closed. Start up under the guideline and flick up to the guideline, but this time I'm going to go like halfway up into the first guideline that we made just to create that transition, and just because we don't want to push the fade up. If we go up too high with the number one with the number one closed, we might as well should have went in with the number one closed. That's the point of a fade. When you go in with a shorter guard or a shorter clip or whatever, you go in not as deep as you did with the first one. That's what's going to create that graduation in the fade. After coming in with that one close, we're gonna come in with that half guard. Sometimes when I come in with the half guard, I start with it halfway closed before I go all the way closed, because sometimes it cuts too much. But once you find that sweet spot, it just really blends out exactly how you want it to. Really, once I use the half guard, I'm really just hitting the bottom of that guideline, and it should really just go away. And right here is really just some detailed cleanup work, going in with no guard on, just hitting any dark areas in that guideline. So right here we're just going to be fading down the rest of the way. Right here I have my number 3 guard on with the lever all the way closed, and this is just to really clean up around that parietal ridge area to set in that shape all the way like I like it. So once I go from the number 3 guard, I just drop down to the 2 open, then we go from there. So after going in with the number 3 guard, we're going to come in with our number 2 guard with the lever all the way open. And right here in this part of the haircut, we're just going to be walking down the fade. As you guys can see around the parietal ridge area, it's a lot of bulk. So we're just going to be walking down until we get this bulk to blend all the way to the bottom of the fade. So right here I'm going to drop to the number 2 closed. We're not going to go up as high as we did with the 2 open. We're just trying to debulk this bulky area, getting the fade to blend. We're just walking down. And right here we're going to come right behind that number 2 guard with the 1.5 with the lever all the way open, and we're going to do the same thing with this guard just like we did with the number 2 guard. I hope you guys are enjoying this video, and if you guys really pay attention and understand what I'm trying to teach you guys in these videos, you guys will really understand it's just a simple system that you have to get better at and keep getting better at it. The more reps you put in, the better you're going to get, because I mean it's just numbers and understanding hair and knowing that the guards are there to help you. The numbers on the guards are there to help you. You know, it kind of speaks for itself once you start understanding how everything fades into each other. To bring the fade together a little bit more, I'm going to do some detail work with the number 1 guard open. That's going to blend right into that 1.5 area, and that's what really is going to meet this whole fade together. And I'm going to come in and do clipper over comb after this just to get most of that bulk off the parietal ridge. So clipper over comb is one of my favorite techniques to use when I'm cutting anybody's hair who has a lot of bulk on top that we're blending into, because a lot of people don't know how to blend the short hair into the hair on top, the bulk on top. I used to have a problem with that too in the beginning. I would always get the fade right, but when it came to connecting the side with the top, I would always mess up. So when I'm using clipper over comb, I basically just use the comb as a guide, and once you put the hair in the comb, the hair that needs to be cut is going to expose itself once you angle the comb how you want it to be angled. And usually when I'm doing somebody like a drop fade or anybody who has a flare out look on top, I usually just hold the comb out more like 45 degrees, just depending on how high up you go into the hair. The higher you go up in the hair, the more you have to angle it, and the lower you are, you can keep it kind of straight up. So right here I'm going to show you guys how to fade the beard into the haircut so that it looks all together. I'm going to start off with no guard on, and then I start with my biggest guard depending on the size of the beard, and then I walk down all the way until it's faded. Literally the same thing that I do when I'm fading hair. It's just the opposite direction. So right here we're going to be prepping my guy for the hairline. Trying to get some of this bulk off the front so I can see it better. And if you guys seen in the beginning of the hairline, on his left side, which is the side I'm working on right now, it was kind of up higher than the opposite side. If you guys seen it in the beginning of the video, so I'm gonna do my best to try to make it look as perfect as I can. But everybody doesn't have a perfect lineup, and as you guys can see, we get my guy right, man. We got a crispy hairline. He had a great hair texture and the lines came out dope. Can't wait for you guys to see the finished haircut. So right here we're going to be lining my guy up. One of my favorite things to do is do the beard, especially when people have a nice beard and those lines just make it pop and you get it shaped up all even, man. It looks dope. Make sure you guys get all the hair under the neck and behind the neck, man. I see a lot of people complaining about barbers. You know, they do clean cuts, but they leave a lot of hair in places. And you want to make sure you're super detailed. That's one thing that's going to set you apart. You want everything to be like damn near perfect. You know, nothing is perfect, but you know, you can be excellent. You know, practice makes excellence. It doesn't make perfect, but when you have excellence, it's going to definitely speak for itself. Unless y'all client says not to, make sure y'all hit them with the sponge, man. Add some style and character to the hair, man. It definitely makes it pop. But you guys, look at the before. My guy came in needing a haircut bad. You know, he came to the right place and we got him right. Fade clean, lines clean. Check him out. We got my guy right. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys leave a thumbs up and leave a comment on the video. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow me on TikTok and Instagram at JoshXBarber. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.